In our journey through life, familial relationships play a crucial role in shaping our identities and providing us with a sense of belonging. However, sometimes these relationships can become strained, leading to a phenomenon known as estrangement. I want to delve into the complexities of estrangement in families, particularly focusing on adult children who choose to cut ties with their parents. It's important to distinguish this phenomenon from the trend of cancel culture, prevalent among teenagers, adolescents, and young adults. Estrangement involves deliberate, often long-term decisions to sever or limit contact with family members due to significant conflicts or unresolved issues. Whereas cancel culture tends to involve more transient and superficial dissociations based on perceived offenses or disagreements. While both may involve the cessation of communication, the motivations and the dynamics behind each are markedly different. As a post-traumatic growth specialist, I work with all kinds of adversities and traumatic experiences when I help clients uncover the life lessons hidden within their hardships and show them how to integrate that into their selves so that they can thrive. I'm Sinta Ebersohn, and I would love to welcome you into my world when you join my online Get Up and Grow community. While you're here, please like, share, and subscribe for more of my material. Please leave any questions or comments you might have so that I can serve you better by either responding with a reply or perhaps a new video on the topic. Estrangement from a legal perspective refers to the voluntary withdrawal or withholding of emotional support, affection, or communication from a family member. From a mental health point of view, it involves the deliberate decision of an individual, typically an adult child, to sever or limit contact with their parents or other family members due to unresolved conflicts, abuse, or irreconcilable differences. Estrangement is also often interchangeably referred to as family rifts, disownment, or family estrangement. And related concepts include parent-child conflict, emotional cutoff, and also intergenerational trauma. Studies have shown that estrangement occurs across diverse cultural, socioeconomic, and geographic contexts. Common reasons for adult children choosing to cut ties include unresolved childhood trauma, emotional abuse, neglect, substance abuse, mental illness, incompatible values or beliefs, and conflicts over life choices such as career, relationships, or even religion. I'm going to give you a few examples amongst some of my clients to give you an idea. I know a 35-year-old woman who ceased contact with her father after years of emotional manipulation and criticism. I also have a client, a 40-year-old man who cut ties with his mother due to her refusal to acknowledge his same-sex relationship. And then there's a 28-year-old woman who distanced herself from both her parents following years of neglect and abandonment during her adolescence. I also know a 45-year-old man who chose to sever contact with his parents after discovering that they embezzled his inheritance. Can you believe it? And then there's a 32-year-old woman who stopped communicating with her family due to their constant pressure to conform to traditional gender roles. And lastly, I'm reminded of a 30-year-old man that I know who decided to cut ties with his parents after years of physical and verbal abuse. It's very important to bear in mind that these individuals made very difficult and very painful decisions to protect themselves and to ensure their own well-being and that of their partners and their children. It was the result of a fair amount of personal work, long deliberation, and obtaining guidance and advice from various professionals. As a result, they are grieving a tremendous loss, and they are continuing their personal work through this unfair and undeserved trauma. If you need support through a similar situation, please reach out to me and join my online Get Up and Grow community, where you'll find a wealth of information, resources, and events to help you cultivate resilience that you will need. Experts from various countries offer different perspectives on estrangement, influenced by cultural norms, legal frameworks, and psychological theories. In the United States, Dr. Joshua Coleman, who is a renowned psychologist and the author of the book When Parents Hurt, emphasizes the importance of empathy and communication in resolving family estrangement. He states, understanding the underlying reasons for estrangement is crucial for fostering reconciliation and healing. In Japan, Dr. Miko Yoshihama, a professor of social work and the author of Family Estrangement in Contemporary Japan, explores how cultural values such as filial piety and shame influence attitudes toward family relationships. She notes, in Japanese society, the stigma associated with family estrangement can deter individuals from seeking support or addressing underlying issues. In the United Kingdom, Dr. Lucy Blake, a family therapist and researcher, highlights the role of systemic dynamics and intergenerational patterns in perpetuating estrangement. She observes that family estrangement often stems from unresolved conflicts or traumas passed down through generations, requiring a systemic approach to intervention and healing. In Australia, Dr. John Bowlby, a pioneer in attachment theory, examined how early attachment experiences shaped individuals' capacity for intimacy and connection in adulthood. He contended that estrangement may reflect disruptions in attachment bonds during childhood, underscoring the need for compassionate interventions that address underlying attachment wounds. And in South Africa, Dr. Thuli Madonsela, a human rights advocate and former public protector, emphasized the intersectionality of estrangement with broader social issues such as inequality and injustice. She asserts that estrangement can be exacerbated by systemic injustices and power imbalances within families. And this highlights the need for structural interventions to promote reconciliation and social justice. Estrangement can have profound emotional, psychological, and social ramifications for all parties involved. Parents may experience feelings of grief, guilt, and rejection, while adult children may grapple with ambivalence, anger, and even perhaps relief. Extended family members may also feel torn between loyalty and neutrality, which further complicates the dynamic. But research suggests that estrangement can contribute to increased risk of depression, anxiety, substance abuse, and low self-esteem among adult children. However, it can also serve as a protective mechanism for individuals seeking to establish healthier boundaries and prioritize their well-being. Estrangement in families is a deeply complex phenomenon, and reconciliation after such estrangement can be challenging, particularly when one or both parties are unwilling to engage in the necessary personal work and open conversation to address underlying issues. Factors such as entrenched patterns of behavior, unresolved trauma, and ongoing conflict can create significant barriers to reconciliation. In some cases, one party may be unwilling or unable to acknowledge their role in the estrangement, and that perpetuates a cycle of blame and resentment. Now, this lack of accountability can prevent meaningful dialogue and hinder efforts toward resolution. Additionally, deeply ingrained family dynamics, such as power imbalances or dysfunctional communication patterns, may further complicate the reconciliation process. Moreover, certain characteristics or traits of individuals involved, such as rigidity, defensiveness, or a refusal to seek help, can impede progress towards reconciliation. These factors can create a stalemate where neither party is willing to make the necessary concessions or changes to rebuild the relationship. And without a willingness to confront these obstacles and actively work towards resolution, reconciliation may remain elusive. External influences such as cultural expectations, societal stigma, or the involvement of other family members can also impact the likelihood of reconciliation. Pressure from peers or relatives to maintain the status quo or to prioritize certain values or traditions over reconciliation efforts can add another layer of complexity to the situation. So while reconciliation after estrangement is possible in many cases, it requires a willingness from all parties involved to engage in introspection, empathy, and open communication. But when certain factors or characteristics make reconciliation impossible, it may be necessary for individuals to focus on personal healing and establish healthy boundaries rather than pursuing reconciliation at all costs. If you like this video, please hit that button and perhaps even share it on your feed so that others may get the benefit too. If you subscribe or follow me, you'll definitely get much more value soon. Estrangement in families, particularly when adult children choose to cut ties, is a deeply distressing and complex phenomenon with far-reaching consequences. While prevention may not always be possible, fostering open dialogue, empathy, and resilience can mitigate the likelihood of estrangement and promote healthier relationships within families. Every individual's journey towards healing and reconciliation is unique. So let us strive to cultivate understanding and compassion for those who are estranged. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. I'm Sinta Ebersohn, and I invite you to get up and grow with me.